Episode 54, Meatless Murder. Hello. Look, I'm back at the shop.
Wow, that's freaky. Wow. Why don't you move the camera over? Is Kurt over there?
No, actually, he just left
Hmm.
not even an hour ago. Yeah.
You just got off of work and went right to the shop?
Yeah. Oh, and I'm serious too. He just left a little less than an hour ago.
Okay.
Yeah. Yes. This background. Well, here we'll go ahead and admit. Wow, that's weird. I'm not admitting Shelly's iPad.
There's a new member here.
Yeah.
Do I even know a Kevin?
Yeah. I don't think that's his real name.
Sounds fake.
Yeah, he probably got that name because he got, I don't know. He went back in time and his mom, who had the hots for him, read his underwear brand and it was like Kevin Klein hands.
Had the Kyle Hots for him. Now, I have many pictures of like the couch area with the surfer in the background. If I could get an actual green screen thing working, it'd be pretty
Yeah,
great.
because this is weird. Like part of my head is actually missing, but if it pops up, and if I do this with my one of my arms here, like go back, oh, Spawn magically appears. Now it's not going to do it because I'm trying to do it.
Yeah, it does.
Before, and it was like I could just, just make Spawn appear. I'd put my arms up, and he's back there or over here or something. I don't know.
Hey, can you check the price on that book that's to your left behind you there? No, your other left.
It's weird because, yeah. So I took off the mirror thing, and I realized how much that throws you off when you're not when you're looking at yourself on camera, but it's not the mirror image because you get used to like having that mirrored image. And I don't have that, so it's throwing me off. I'm like, wait, which side? And then I should think, okay, well, Spawn's not over here. He's over. Where is he?
Yeah, that's quite the background.
So my arm disappears instead of him appearing.
Well, it just went inside the cabinet.
Yeah, I'm just checking the price on this. Oh, that was kind of creepy, actually.
Yeah. This
Is Kerby joining us or?
Oh, hey.
I'm still trying to
Just had to turn the light on.
So I thought I used this computer last time I was here, but apparently not.
Yeah, this might be the first time we've seen your pop up.
First time you see my what?
Your name pop up instead of Shelly's iPad.
Yeah, you don't want to cut out.
Yeah, 'cause I'm trying to use the laptop. This is way different than the tablet, so I'm trying to figure it out still.
Well, while he figures it out, what you just joined here is David's recording back at the old shop. He decided to turn the lights on one more time, and he's just broadcasting from there now. So,
but no, since at the club, well, after the club really, because we ended before I got the news out. But just announcing that we were officially finished with Diamond and everything. In closing this business, we have so many last times and everything. So tonight was kind of a first, really, because aside from the break that we took during the COVID Diamond break thing, this is the first Wednesday, not including the ones that UPS decided not to bring our stuff. But this is it's the first Wednesday that we're not getting anything, and we're actually not supposed to get anything. So we don't have to schedule a new comic book day for Thursday or Friday or something like that. There's no new comics today. I mean, there are somewhere.
Yeah.
Not here.
Except for the ones in your cabinet behind you right there.
So the other thing that today is marking is, as I was mentioning, Kurt actually was over. And so things that we had left over that we didn't sell off, we were kind of divvying up between myself and Kurt. And I've been trying to get Kurt to come over and be like, well, come see what you want and, take whatever you want. At this point, everything that I really wanted, I took out of there. And so the stuff that was left, he came over and he looked through it, and he knows there's certain things that he doesn't really have room for and didn't really care about. So he looked through what we had and took what he wants, and basically everything else is now mine. So
congratulations.
Yeah. So you stop by tomorrow. Yeah. You want to go browsing through my garage?
I wouldn't be opposed to it.
See, at this point,
is that going to be here? What are you eating?
Oh, I can review my wife's homemade lasagna with fake meat, which this is one of those meals that you don't miss the meat as much as you'd think you would. It's not half bad, which means it might not be half good, but it's not half bad.
Well, it's quite a coincidence because I'm having meatless hot cocoa right now too. So
I also have meatless chocolate milk.
I got a tequila glass of.
There is nothing in this glass. There's not even a glass. See, I should have filled it with booze. Nobody could prove anything.
And just so we're clear, we can't see you at the moment, Kerby, in case you didn't know that.
Yeah, I can. I'm trying to get the tablet up and running because this isn't working at all on the laptop.
Okay, just checking. Not that we go
super choppy. I don't know if you're seeing it on your end or not, but you guys are totally chopping out constantly. So I'm assuming my tablet doesn't work good for it.
We look fine. Like I don't have fingers disappearing or anything.
Yeah,
David looks like he's in a fun house mirror.
Yeah, our audio is all good on our side. Your audio is really good right now. But yeah, just wanted to make sure, not that you went for an hour thinking that you had video and then you go back and watch it and you weren't even on the screen.
Yep.
Yeah, let's not make it like that time that I was on Peter Simeti's YouTube channel for his Alterna thing, and the whole time I thought that I was on camera. It wasn't working, and he didn't tell me that I had no video. So I'm like, yeah, we put our comics over here and whatever. And I mean, I just imagine that sounded really stupid because the audience is sitting there, putting them where?
Yeah.
What is? I had no idea. I thought I'm on video. And like, I took a bunch of time to get it all set up. For some reason, the video just wasn't working. I forgot what he was using. There was some program he was using, but I was having some issues with it. It's not easy to use like Zoom. Zoom, actually, I will say Zoom is fairly easy to use. Oh, look, we're being joined now by Shelly's iPad.
Oh, we're going to have Kerby and Shelly's iPad here at the same time.
Yeah.
There, finally.
Yeah, dueling screens. While we wait for his connection there, I asked my friend Ashley from work to paint this X-ray robot rock. which I'm glad I'm holding onto nice and firmly because it's right over my laptop and I wouldn't want to drop. It's a pretty heavy rock.
So it is actually just the head painted on a rock. You're not using some weird background and the rest of the body's disappearing like Spawn over here.
Actually, based on how my camera view right here, the body of the X-ray robot is right on the top. So let me
You could just throw it.
closer. There we go. That looks good, right? There.
Yeah, about 10 feet higher.
Yeah.
A little, yeah, maybe a little bit higher.
My arm was also, I was really straining,
It's where the head would be if it had been weighted down by a rock.
Here, let's try this one instead. The X-ray robot yo-yo. Yep, I still just need to. How about I just do that?
You know, the X-ray robot head on the wall matches up perfectly with the X-ray robot body on the wall.
That's what I was thinking.
Yeah.
Weird. That's quite the coincidence. But yep, got this in the mail through Christopher Irving, his Kickstarter. He often does for the Madman Averse products, trading cards and buttons and stickers and things like that. And now the yo-yo, which Kerby got his yo-yo set a couple days ago. I had to wait a little longer for mine, but mine also had an action figure included, so that might have changed up the process based on what waves he was doing. But what's cool, and I don't know if I ever told you this, Kerby, I have to look back on the tweets. I should be able to find it. But when I had gotten the original Madman yo-yo that I got off of eBay from 1996, I had tweeted at Allred and just showed it off and just said, oh, hey, look what I was able to rescue from the wild. And it was shared and some people were commenting and talking about, like, if these are still available somewhere, blah, blah, blah. And I think Christopher Irving jumped into the discussion and said that he has an idea that he might be able to make a new line of yo-yos. And like I said, I would have to go back and double check the tweets, but I think that all spawned off of my original, like, hey, look what I got off of eBay. And then here we are with, a dozen new yo-yos or something. So
Yeah, that was an awesome deal. What do we end up with? Like 6 different yo-yos or some shit?
I think there was 7 because there was one in that box too that was
The buttons and stuff and the cards.
yeah, the metal cards and buttons, stickers, and the 3D an X-ray robot and a Mad Maniverse yo-yo 3D cards with a pair of glasses as well.
Yeah.
But
It's
yeah,
like that Elvira and I'm back into that's just hit another milestone, got another card in there. But it sucks because the first few bonuses were digital, just digital copies of the first comics, which I already have. So.
and actually, I just right before we started this, I just got the Buzz email that it went through. I just submitted my pledge for a brand new Kickstarter that is going to raise money to add meat to David's lasagna.
I was thinking, it works out fine that I'm eating right now because you guys, I don't have any yo-yos. So I figure you guys can just talk about your yo-yos and playing with your yo-yos and touching each other's yo-yos.
Yeah.
And I'll eat my lasagna, which has no meat. Now, for those who might be watching and thinking, poor David, here he is forced to eat lasagna with no meat. To make up for it, for lunch, I went to Burger King and I had 2 Whoppers. The real ones.
2
not the
Whoppers.
impossible ones, which actually are impossible. But the real ones with the real horse meat or whatever they put in it.
I heard it's the meat from what would have been in your lasagna was used to make. But yeah, going back to that yo-yo thing and touching other people's yo-yos, I always say no. I wanted to get that joke in there, so that's done. Now we can move on from that.
Well, always make sure that you get a yes before you play with somebody else's yo-yo.
There's one thing we learned from this week's Under the Cowl. It's that.
And knowing is half the battle. What is it? The other half is like red lasers and blue lasers or something. The internet meme.
Speaking of lasers, I sent the words pew pew to somebody in text through iPhone, PEW, space in between. And all of a sudden actually I could probably just do it here and we could see it.
Autocorrect to poo poo.
I could actually just show it off here if I think it should work if I send it to myself here. Or here I'll send it to David. We'll see if it works, but all of a sudden, like, my phone just started doing a bunch of crazy stuff. And let me just make sure that we don't have any yo-yo pictures on our text thread here. Okay. It did like a crazy like scan and the phone is vibrating the whole time.
Yeah, some laser light show going on, you know, like you're at one of those Pink Floyd shows without Pink Floyd that they have these days.
Yeah. A Russian political hacker just taking all your information off your computer.
Oh man, they just doubled my donation for that meat lasagna Kickstarter. But yeah, normally when you do those kind of things, if you put congratulations, it'll do like a bunch of balloons will come up on your screen and confetti pops and stuff. I've seen that stuff, but I just randomly type pew pew to somebody. I forgot what the conversation was, but I'm just like pew pew. And, oh, shots fired based on whatever jokes we were talking. And someone said shots fired. And I went pew pew. And next thing I knew, like I thought I was being abducted or something. So
yeah, next time you type it in, you'll have the FBI kick your door down.
yeah, we wouldn't want that.
Yeah,
so.
that was just a warning.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah.
I think I'm gonna get rid of my fake store background now because it's driving me a little weird. You know, it worked okay with the club with the horror host guy because half the time he disappeared and stuff and looked like he was dissipating into a foggy cemetery. This doesn't work so much. This looks like bad green screen.
Now,
It's probably because I don't have a green screen. I do actually have the ability to make a green screen. I've got the materials. I should try that and see how it actually works with the Zoom green screen virtual background thing.
Now, is that cabinet still going to be there once you turn off the background?
That's what I was gonna say.
It will be. Is the funny thing is it will be. It's just gonna here. Let me just turn it sideways. Let me just with I won't even touch the thing, and it will turn sideways behind me. Oh, and there it goes. There.
Wow. Hey, there's someone behind you.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Jamie Foxx
Flips it over, and all of a sudden he gets murdered by Spawn.
For some reason, whenever I look at this, the size behind me looks off, and I feel like I'm got a virtual background. I don't know why. It's because I'm right here, right by it, but it looks like I'm smaller than I should be compared to it.
Yeah, I could see that. Yeah.
I think that let's actually compare to the virtual background. That, I mean, this would be if I'm further away from it, so it doesn't really match up. But right next to it, somehow how it looks in the video just makes it look different size-wise than it should be.
Just that your
head's a little bit bigger in the first one.
Oh, that's it. Yeah. I got a tiny head. Yeah, this is actually a fake background too. It's like one of those fake newscasts. I'm reporting live from.
So yeah, anything crazy new and going on this week in anybody's lives other than meatless lasagna and yo-yos?
Advantage of the nice weather to get winter shit done.
And so it was a good day for Kurt. Like I said, he came over. He took what he wanted, left me the rest. So now I have to see what I actually have. Probably a bunch of trades that I normally wouldn't read, that now I will probably expand my mind and read things that I wouldn't normally read. So it's good for me.
There'll be new comics to you.
Yeah, yeah. And challenge myself to read comic books that are out of my normal reading zone. Otherwise, I would have a lot of gifts to give people. Like I don't have to do Christmas shopping or anything for a while now. If only I knew people who would want like graphic novels, trade paperbacks, toys, games, things like that for for gifts. But I don't really know anybody who's into any of that, so I'm probably just stuck with it all.
Well, then it's about time they get into it, whether they've got no choice.
Actually, that's what I should do, is not gift people I know would like it, but gift people who probably wouldn't think to buy it themselves. Like, hey, I got this book. I might as well, yeah, David gave me this book thing. I'm sitting on the toilet. I might as well read it. Next thing you know, they're keeping some other comic book store in business.
I'll be up there home for hours, and then finally he'll come out of the corn yard.
Or you can read a comic book store.
I thought Spawn was talking to me in a woman's voice for a minute there.
You can hear Shelly talking to her on the phone.
Oh, well, at least she's probably talking to somebody else then, not just wandering around talking to herself, answering questions.
Called back home. See if someone will send her a plane ticket to get her out of here.
Oh, yeah, there's something too that I was gonna premiere here. Now
Before
that Halloween,
again, I just have to put this out there. There is a milk crate with some Twilight games in my garage that I need to get back to its rightful owner. So I think I keep forgetting to mention that. So
Twilight. You couldn't find something good.
just letting you know. When you decide that you want to come over and purchase this Deadpool head from me,
Yep. I'm still waiting for you to send me
I'll
you for everything.
I'll throw in a free milk crate full of Twilight. It's a great deal.
Just let me know and we can swing up sometime in the next week or so.
All right.
now that Halloween's over, I decided it's time to celebrate Christmas with this brand new book here, which is "We Wish You a Harley Christmas," written by Daniel Kibblesmith, a very hilarious writer who I know a lot from doing some Marvel stuff. But it's a parodies of Christmas carols, and one of the best ones is the 12 Days of Villains, and it goes down the line. And I was kind of singing along and going through the entire song the other night, and I could not stop laughing when we got to the 8th day, because it's 8 faces claying. And every time I went through that, I just could not, go through that without busting out laughing with, 8 faces
Face
claying.
break up into 8 little mini clay faces.
Oh, that sounds like some people's dream or nightmares, but my dreams.
Trying to
But
think
yeah.
how many clay faces have there been? Was it like 4?
I want to say at least 3, yeah, 4 at the most, if you're counting the lady clay face.
Yeah.
Yeah, Lady Clay.
Clady face.
Hey, Clady.
So does that book also have a parody of, I don't know, like Jingle Bells?
Yeah, that's actually in here too. Which, yeah, Jingle Bells, Harley's Swell. It's a very,
It's like a parody of a parody.
yeah, Jingle Bells, Harley Swells, Batman's just okay. My new look is off the hook, so who needs Mr. J? Hey! And then it goes on and on. But this book costs money, and I don't want to just give that all for free and people get my wonderful singing voice.
I can edit your voice so it sounds different, and then people
I
have-
ordered a Squirrel Girl book from eBay. Came all bent to shit. And had a stupid "I'm with Cap" sticker,
Wow.
which I think I'm gonna have to donate to Anthony one day.
I'm with Cap, so
I know you are. But yeah, I like putting everything in my little watch list so I get the discounts, and the guy sent me $1 off, so I'm like, yeah, I can see why he gave me it.
yeah. Yeah, I don't think I've ever had.
I'd have given you like 101 cents for, off of the price for something like that. That's a lot more.
I think the worst thing I had when it came to like getting an eBay purchase in the mail, I thought I was buying like a bigger knife and a sword, and it was some like replica thing, and it was like a
Like a
super.
letter opener.
Yeah, it was a letter opener. I can't even. Oh, I think I know where it is. So if you guys have something to talk about, actually, I could probably make it look pretty huge with the camera on here.
I bought
A little forced perspective.
Yeah, I'll be back.
I bought 5 pounds of dredging dirt, and basically dredges what you use for gold panning, and you gets it all found, pushed down to the fine grade stuff and the fine gold and all that shit. I had 5 pounds, so it would come to me through the mail, and the whole package ripped open. By the time I got it, there was like a pinch of dirt left in the bag. So it just dumped in all the little automatic post office machines.
Yeah, somebody really loved that.
Yeah, they love me for that one.
I know you always hear the stories about people buying, boxes from like a game system or something. They think they're getting a great deal on, whatever the latest, video game system is. Xbox 370 or whatever, and they're like, all right, I'm getting it, and it's only like $300, and then they get it's just a box.
Yep. A box with a bunch of toilet paper in it or some shit.
Because if you read the fine print, it says, box only, and that's how they get away with it. But a lot of people don't read the full descriptions, everything.
I almost got screwed with it with the Nintendo Mini when they first brought it out. It's like 90% of the auctions were just the boxes.
I remember one of the first things I came across on eBay, like when eBay came out, and we were all like browsing it back at home and just like figuring out like, wow, there's this online auction. Look at all this stuff. It was one of the funniest auctions ever, and it was for a half-eaten bag of Cool Ranch Doritos. And the listing was hilarious. Like it talked about the flavor and the reason why they were selling half of it, and that they kept it sealed with the chip clip and everything, so they guaranteed that it was still going to be fresh even though it's been opened. But yeah, every time I think of eBay, I always think back to that very first product that I was really looking at. Didn't buy it though, but wanted to.
It's the Three Musketeers.
Yeah, that was her time.
How many body parts or bodily fluid items do you think were sold on eBay before they made a rule against it?
A lot.
How long did it take them before they're like, no, you can't send urine?
I don't know. I think you can still get like fingernails and shit like that. Cards and nails.
I thought you were gonna say, you can still get urine. I just want mine.
Oh, you are on my iPad.
Yeah.
Couldn't get on.
I got on a
It
laptop.
has to be your urine. It can't be anybody else's urine.
I'm gonna buy my own urine off of eBay.
So I didn't find the exact letter opener, but I found a very similar sized item, which is a Hyrule Legend of Zelda sword that is kind of basically a letter opener, but it's basically the same thing.
Your Zelda cereal boxes.
No Zelda cereal box. This one I got think it was one of the Ocarina of Time special editions or some kind of crap, and it had this sword in there. So I'm gonna try the perspective thing to just show how big this sword is here. Oh, look at this! Look at the size of that blade. And yep, this is the this was basically the size of the letter opener that I thought I was buying a big sword on eBay back in like probably 2003 or something. So yeah,
With the yarn.
a small a small box showed up, and I was like, "Oh, what did I order?" I'm like, I wasn't even thinking this is the sword. I was thinking oh, what else did I order? Then I opened it up, and I was just like, it didn't
Yeah.
come. I was hoping it came with pin particles because then maybe then it just saves on shipping if they shrink it. So
Because then you could shrink down and it would be a full size sword to you once you're shrunk
Yeah.
down.
oh, speaking of Zelda, oh, like the manga version or something?
Yeah, the manga version for free comic book day. I was able to pick out 4 comics this week.
So have you read manga before, or are you a manga virgin?
I've read it, but I can't stand it. I don't like reading backwards. It confuses the shit out of me.
What if you stand backwards but read it forwards? Wait, what?
Or stand on your head.
Yeah, rub your tummy and pat your head. Ooh, Vin Diesel. Anybody see that Bloodshot movie?
The 4 I got this week for free.
No,
Getting quite a few of them.
I actually forgot that that they did that.
Yeah, that was like right when the pandemic was starting. Like I think it just hit theaters, and then I don't know if it came in digital. Nice, Volume 3, Madman. Very nice, very nice.
Yeah, Shelly just made the eBay. Well, you got it off Amazon, didn't you?
Yeah.
Amazon, she bought it off of it. Bought a bunch of yarn, spent a bunch of money on it, thinking it was the same. It said it was number 4, the same stuff Mom uses. Got it here, and they were just tiny little rolls. So,
It was a letter opener.
this was a 4 set, a set of 4. Cody and the Creepers.
Yeah, I think I
And one kid's in a wheelchair.
got one of those.
I just couldn't believe that all 4 were in a $1 box along with all 4 itty bitty masks. It's like, I was just talking about that just a couple days ago, and then it's like, I'm digging through the box. I'm like, bummer, there's number 3. And I go through the rest of the box and find all the other ones.
My cat's trying to bust my door open.
Is your cat being a little ass last week? All your cats?
Nope.
That's the other one I got.
Oh yeah.
I don't know how many different ones of those they have, but yeah, our cat's just been psycho with the full moon. He's just been came home last night. Mom's freaked out because he's running and jumping up on the piano and going up and over everything, and just waking up at all kinds of weird hours, meowing constantly. He's fixed. So, there's no damn excuse.
I don't know. Sounds like it might be broken.
Yeah, the other day, just a few days ago again,
Oh my God.
he's done this a few times now. That black and gray cat came out to our back door, and he was sitting on a couch and just jumped off and flew head first right into the glass door. So he might have some internal bleeding in the brain.
Well, I hope not.
But yeah, he hit that thing hard.
Now it looks weird because you can barely see the cat match with your shirt, so you just see a tail. It looks like you got the green screen thing going on again, and part of your neck is disappearing. Kerby said the key word earlier. He said weird, and I was actually going to show off the this Weird Al sketch art that I did back in probably like 1999, coloring the paper or painting it black and then letting it dry and then chipping it away with some sort of tool of some sort and creating. I don't know what the actual process is called, but I just call it scratch art because ironically he's also scratching his head. This is from the Inside album insert of the Bad Hair Day album, and I got Weird Al to sign this maybe like, I forget what the years would be later, maybe like 15, 16, 17 years later. But I bring that up because this is the first time I've ever hung up my own art before. I've had this hung up since I made it, but now I just hung up the second piece of art. Not the second piece of art I've ever done. I've done a couple things in between, in that 20 years or so. But I got a frame and the madman that I drew in colored pencil after looking at Mike and Laura's pose and take of the same image. It's not my own creation as far as the pose, but yeah, I decided to hang my second piece of personal art that I've done. So, and I was
One
thinking,
was scratch art and one was traced art.
not traced. I just looked at it. Oh, there's that cat CGI tail again.
He is playing with his tool.
But the third thing I want to get printed and framed is, out of all the stuff I've done in this last year, I've really enjoyed my take on this Harley Quinn art that I did. Based off of no specific pose or design, I just took the mashup of the Margot Robbie live action Harley. I mixed in some animated Harley and then just created my own pose with it and just went with it and created all that fun stuff. But this is one that I was pretty satisfied with, that I think deserves to be framed as well. So
And that's a picture of her sitting there singing Christmas carols.
exactly, yeah. I just have to put a Santa hat on her yet. So, but yeah, that's been kind of my project this week, is just finding place for some of the frame stuff, and figured I would show that off for our YouTube viewers there. Little show and tell.
And eating hot cheese. Piggly Wiggly.
Shelly wanted to let you know she's eating cottage cheese from the Piggly Wiggly.
Like she's in front of the cooler door right now eating it.
Yep.
I'll tell Jason.
So Anthony, I know David won't give a shit about this.
I might.
I was listening to Gilbert Godfrey's Amazing Colossal podcast, and he had Tim Dillon on there this week, and it's about 3/4 of the way through it, but he talks about Howard the Duck, how while he was working on the film, he got a bunch of the stars from the show, from the movie, and the person and Howard the Duck, and did a 5-minute Howard the Duck movie, which might be out there somewhere, which I'd love to see if I could find it anywhere. But he was talking about Howard the Duck was played by a 12-year-old kid.
Is it Ed Gale?
I don't know. I just never realized that. I didn't think it was.
Yeah, it's probably referring to Ed Gale, who also played Chucky.
Okay.
And much like what's his face from Star Wars and Willow.
Oh yeah,
Davis.
Davis Swart.
Yeah, Warwick Davis. Much like that, where you see him in all these kind of iconic roles, and you look being like, oh, he was in this and this and that. And Ed Gale, I think, had that same kind of career of just like, yeah, he's Chucky, he's Howard the Duck, and
That makes. I just never knew that. Seen that film 100 sometimes.
one of the earliest conventions I went to, Ed Gale was there, and I was so new to the convention scene and everything, and I didn't know like a lot of prices weren't advertised, and it was just one of those where had so much going on. But end of the story is that I never did go up to meet him, And thinking about it, many years later, I'm just like, oh, because a more seasoned vet, Anthony, going to conventions would have gotten all the stuff done. But back then, I was just like, oh well, I don't know how long that'll take because I got to go do the Joss Whedon thing or something. But yeah, he's I follow Ed Gale on online and stuff, and I think he does a lot of stuff. If you sent pre-COVID, even if you sent him stuff, to get autographed or whatever. But I know he's kind of held up with some health conditions and stuff like that, and can't really get move around that well. So he's you know most likely would probably never see him at a convention, even when things get better. But
I don't think we'll even see a convention.
Yeah, well, I was also gonna look into some Ed Gale stuff, but I accidentally looked up Ed Gein instead and realized there's a big difference. Ed Gale is the actor. Ed Gein does costumes.
huh. And what's crazy is that actors often wear costumes.
Maybe they've worked together.
It's a match made in heaven.
So
Yep. So, yeah, that was some stories to to fill in some dead air. I'll often go through my camera roll to see if there's anything. Be like, oh yes, here's something that happened the other day. That oh, here's the pew pew thing. We already talked about that.
yeah, I looked on my phone and I don't have any lasers or anything on there.
Yet.
It just says pew pew sent with lasers.
How about this?
Did
Any
you
of
write
you
sent with lasers?
sent with lasers? What?
Did you actually write sent with lasers?
No.
Or does it just because that's what my the text on my phone says is just pew pew
Pew pew. Yeah.
lasers. It says sent with lasers.
Really?
Yeah.
No, that's oh, it says it when I go out to my message window where it just says message sent with lasers, but it doesn't say that in the actual text.
Yeah, my actual text that I received from you, it says poo poo, and then right below it, in parentheses, says sent with lasers.
I'm thinking I'm gonna change that to my email signature now. It's just sincerely yours, Anthony, sent with lasers.
Basically, Anthony has the upgraded new iPhone, and David's using the Galaxy 8 still.
It's like a Ford.
I don't get yearly iPhones. I'm still sitting on. I don't even know what model this is, but I probably missed like three rounds of it just because these
I
always.
Really cool Star Trek flip phone.
There's an iPhone
I
7.
miss those because I used to pretend all the time. I'd be making a call. I'd be calling him, beam me up.
Now that's
Doesn't work
just a
with
little
this.
case of bubble gum, right? There's bubble gum in that.
Yeah.
They always do weird size things with phones. Like they were for a long time, they would get smaller and smaller and smaller and smaller, and until you have this tiny little phone, and you're like, "Hello,"
Yeah, what did I?
and trying to text on it. And then they started getting bigger and bigger and bigger until you had like a tablet-sized phone. And then they're
Hey,
like,
you
"Well,
guys
why don't we just make tablets?"
want to see my new iPhone 27? Here it is. Hey guys, can you hear me? Oops, sent with lasers.
I mean,
I can't think of what the comedy program, if it was a movie or a show, but somebody was very into the fact that they had the smallest cell phone, and it really was like,
Hello? I'll call you back.
oh, okay. But yeah, I can't think of what that was. Somebody literally it was a competition, and they were bragging that they did have the smallest phone, and it really was that little thing where it just like had to use their pinky just to lift up but I can't think of what program that was.
Texting. Oh, sorry, I fat fingered it.
Yeah, there's one button, so if you want to do the letter Z, you got to press it 26 times to get the Z.
Yep.
How do you? Where's the backspace?
Oh, no backspace. Once you start, then you're committed. So, yeah.
So,
I just recently finished a rewatch of Freaks and Geeks. Have either of you seen that show?
Yeah, I like that.
I never have. No.
Yeah, it's the Judd Apatow and Paul Feig show, basically before they both became the names that they are, moving into directing movies, and from the 40-Year-Old Virgin and Knocked Up and Bridesmaids and all that. So that's where all like Seth Rogen, Jason Segel, James Franco, Linda Cardellini, Busy Phillips, Martin Starr.
That show that made me originally hate Seth Rogen.
Really?
Yeah, I hated him back then.
In what?
Freaks and Geeks.
I liked it.
Oh, I know you did, but I don't know. I hated his cheesy humor and stuff. I didn't like him. I'm gradually getting more used to him. But
And what's crazy is that like a lot of times he plays the same kind of character, but in Freaks and Geeks, he's probably the most different because he does play a real asshole in there.
I don't think he changed at all. He's still
Now, after just
same as he always has in every role he's ever done.
yeah, I think after just rewatching, I think his Freaks and Geeks is way different than any of his other movie roles because
Now I have to watch it just to see. Like, oh,
oh, this should be fun. I'll be right back.
okay. See ya.
This is the time I got to meet all the cast members.
Yeah, I just had to go get my iPhone.
This is the flip phone.
Name drop.
We got special guest Linda Cardellini on the show here. Hi guys, I'm Linda Cardellini. You may know me from Freaks and Geeks, and I was on ER for some seasons, and Scooby-Doo.
Scooby-Doo.
And then also we have
Dead to
James
Me.
Franco's on the podcast. You may know me from Spider-Man and Pineapple Express.
Maybe
And then-
even that Oz the Great and Powerful or whatever.
Yes, China Girl's right over there.
Yeah. China Girl. I was just watching a friend, more of an acquaintance really, but he has his own thing that's on at this time. And so right before we got started here, I was catching a glimpse of that, and he had an actor on there that had a small role in Oz the Great and Powerful.
A friend of yours does?
Yeah.
That's the part I missed in the beginning.
Yeah. Yeah, there's a friend of mine I met through T. Krulos. We actually worked on when he started doing his paranormal conferences, and they started doing the film portion of that. This guy was involved in that, and I was involved in it, so we met through doing that. And now he does like a pop culture podcast thing, but he started doing it on video, and he has them live streaming on Facebook. See, we don't do that. We go back and put them on later, by like a month later instead of live. But yeah, he's got some connections. He does. There's a film festival that he does every year, and so he's made a few connections through doing that way.
Has he ever met Martin Starr from the teacher in the Spider-Man movies, the new Spider-Man movies
Um,
in Silicon Valley, I think?
maybe he has. I don't know.
Does he know Josh Gates? Can you get him to zoom in next week?
Yeah, I don't know.
How about the guy who
Make a list. I'll send him a message and ask him.
how about the guy that's been co-writing some Spider-Man movies and also doing a bunch of other stuff, John Francis Daly, who was on Bones. Hi guys, I was on Bones.
He's on Freaks and Geeks too, right?
Yeah, he's going up through his whole Freaks and Geeks photo array here.
Hey, Shelly, can you see me? And then hold on, almost done. What? No, now she's looking. Okay, hold on.
Okay.
Hi.
Hey.
It looks like I'm really here, right?
Yeah,
I just
totally.
keep holding onto my shirt collar because it's scratchy. Hold on, there's only a couple more left here. Now you may know me. Oh boy. Okay. So I gotta turn my body, I think. You may know me from How I Met Your Mother and Forgetting Sarah Marshall, amongst many other things. Maybe the Muppets movie. Hey guys, I'm Jason Segel. If you remember, I did that nude scene in Forgetting Sarah Marshall. So hold on, let me stand up. Oh wait, hold on.
You got to hold up a picture or two that matches.
And hey guys, I'm Sam Levine. You may have seen me in Inglorious Bastards with Brad Pitt. Also, I used to host the DC Universe stuff. And I'm probably just in a million other things.
Guys all stop doing their laundry together. They all get those itchy collars.
Nobody from that show became big.
And here's the one Kirby's favorite. Hey guys, yeah, hi, I'm Seth Rogen, and you may know Freaks and Geeks and other.
You got a frog in your throat.
Hi ho. So yeah, I rewatched Freaks and Geeks. That was I burned through there was like 17 episodes, but
Seth Rogen is voiced by Rolf the dog.
Oh, hey guys. Yeah. Which is funny because when Seth Rogen hosted SNL one time, they did a Muppet sketch and they all were like in the bus, and they were all playing live action versions of the Muppets, and Seth Rogen was Rolf. So
fitting.
It's one of those things that I don't think is on YouTube, like due to rights or something. It might just be on one of the NBC app or something like that, because I think sometimes you can't find all of the old SNL clips. If you want, they'll have them locked down. So
They're in the Disney vault.
yes,
Own them yet?
by the time this gets released, yeah. Which could be a compliment because this could be released very soon.
It probably will be.
We have our own Crimson Vault.
But yeah, I've been basically in the mood, even though there's other things I have to watch yet. I've just been in the mood of like rewatching certain things that I hadn't seen in such a long time, where I know I could watch it but also zone out at the same time. And if I need to do something in the other room, I don't need to sit there and pay attention, so I'm not lost or rewind or anything.
So I can't find anything to just pull me in right now other than the live video pods and stuff like that. So I tried. I was all excited for Cobra Kai. And I'm 2 episodes in and it's not what I wanted.
No.
I wanted it to follow the comic book. I love the comic book, but show sucks.
No, well, maybe I shouldn't, worry about the fact that I haven't gotten to watch it yet. My problem is that in all the time that I am able to watch things, it's time that I have other people around that want to do things with me. So we watch things together, which limits the types of things that I can watch.
We watch murder.
Yeah, we watch murder, so I make sure.
No, I'm talking about like movies and TV and fictional things.
And not like crimes out in the world.
I don't know what you guys are doing in your basement.
Johnson, Ed Gein's a family friend. I learned my leather work in my childhood.
Yeah.
Uh-huh. What were we just talking about? Oh, yeah, so I don't get to watch just everything that I want to watch, because I get a list of things that I want to watch, and I'm like, yeah, I gotta watch that when I have time, but then I don't have time, or if I have time, I've got somebody else, and I have to like we have to agree on something to watch together.
Yeah, I think I'm going to chase Freaks and Geeks with Undeclared. Have you guys seen that one?
That was a good one.
Have I seen it?
Yes.
So,
I guess I've seen it.
and did you like it, Shelly? Did he like it?
Yes, I did.
We, you know,
Almost as much as he liked Freaks and Geeks. But it was missing Seth Rogen, so
It didn't have an annoying Seth Rogen in it, apparently, because I would have remembered that.
Well, he was in it.
I don't know. I never saw it. I just made that up.
Kerby, blink twice if everything's okay.
Maybe we're watching murder.
Oh. But Undeclared, after Freaks and Geeks got canceled before its time, 17 episodes in, they then went back and pitched Undeclared, which is going to be a half-hour sitcom format, non-laugh track sort of thing, but a half-hour format, and put the kids into a modern-day college. And I think they tried recasting everybody into that, but then the network was like, didn't we just like cancel your show that had all of these actors in these roles and stuff? So they kept about like a couple of them, and then the other one showed up as guest stars. But the one thing, they wanted Seth Rogen to be part of the main cast, but due to the contracts and studios and stuff, I think it went along the ways that they said, well, we just canceled the show starring Seth Rogen. You know, you tried it. You can't have him on the show unless he's like part of the creative team, like the writing staff or something. So Judd Apatow, I think, hired him as a writer and put him on the writing staff so he could also be on the show. And that really started launching, because I think that's where Judd gave him, gave him and Jason Segel basically writing lessons and tasks, and told them to, start writing screenplays. And then Superbad was something that I think Seth was working on since he was 13. And then Jason Segel did Forgetting Sarah Marshall. But during that time, those actors were then on Undeclared, and you would see all the Freaks and Geeks people show up playing different characters, because Freaks and Geeks was from the 80s, and then Undeclared was modern day. But that one only lasted like 16 episodes, and that was a half-hour show. And then once they canceled both of those shows, then each and every single one of those people just blew up with the biggest comedy careers. And
They
they were pretty big.
Like, canceling those shows was the best thing that ever happened to those people.
basically by the bell Freaks and Geeks.
And watching Freaks and Geeks, and you see like Lizzie Kaplan's on there, and she blew up big after that. And like Shia LaBeouf plays like a mascot in one episode of Freaks and Geeks, and he's barely in it, but he gets injured as a mascot. He's like a little kid, like right out of after the Disney Channel stuff. And but it's crazy just looking at all of these people, and just how, like, because they were talking about if they would ever do a reunion and stuff. And Sam Levine talked about that recently. He was on Kevin Smith's Smodcast, which is actually what inspired me to rewatch Freaks and Geeks. But he just said there's absolutely no discussion about them, revisiting that, and the fact that all of those people's careers and stuff. And he says Sam admitted that like he's the one with the, that's not as famous as all the other ones, but he's been working constantly for 20 years since the show stopped, and it definitely launched him. But to get all those schedules together would just be insane if they would ever even do it.
But now he can't say that there's been no discussion on it, because now there has been on a podcast.
Now they have discussed the fact that yes.
Said no.
And now we're discussing it. There have been at least a couple discussions.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
And 7 months that they could have worked on it. Done a little Zoom version.
Well, I know like Arrested Development tried that with when they returned back to Netflix, and that's another example of a huge cast that was hard to reassemble. And that's another thing with Firefly of like that being like all of them were like, show running or being leads on shows and things like that. But the Arrested Development, I think in one of that first season back, they did a lot of CGI to patchwork all of them together. And I guess if you're really savvy, you would probably, catch it. I hadn't heard about it prior to watching, so that kind of distracted me from like enjoying the show because I was like specifically watching, being like, okay, are these two people in the same shot? And which is funny because I did the same thing for my web series I did in the early 2000s, where there are some actors from my web series that have had several scenes together, but still have never met each other because I'm just like, well, we're all working with so many different schedules and work schedules and school schedules. So I would just film their side of the dialogue and they would just trust me that I was going to piece it together. And it was kind of crazy because like so many people acted against nothing basically. So
One of my favorite shows that came out the past few years was Hit Record. All he did was have everybody send in video clips and he just threw it all together.
Joseph Gordon-Levitt.
Yep. And I gotta drive by Anthony's house anyways and drop off that 2-person sloth costume. That was a fun series. It was short-lived, but it was fun.
So the same way we do Under the Cowl, we all just send in our parts, we stitch them together, and you'd think that we're all talking together. I don't even know what we're talking about. Let me think. I believe
Meatless Murder.
But I throw in, a one-liner here or whatever or nod, and it looks like we're all having part of the same conversation.
Yes, and I also wore a tutu. And it always syncs up. Everything we've said has always synced up in conversation, Hamburger.
She probed me. She stuck the tube in me.
Every time.
Every time. Tail again.
Every time. Every time.
All the time.
Mm.
Yeah.
I'll show you my toys on Saturday that I picked up.
Yeah. And speaking of time, this concludes our time.
Oh, someone's calling me on the phone here.
So I do have a couple of things.
I got to get this.
I got the old-fashioned flip phone again, so let me just.
I get to stab my wife with a needle.
Oh yeah, it's that time.
But maybe we should keep recording this. There's some stabbing going on. So.
It's not going to hurt her that much.
You hurt me all the time.
I take my time.
You're not doing it tonight anyway.
Well,
It's the drugs. They're kicking
I just
in.
saw some dark
the
going
motor.
next. So yeah.
Mixing the tequila and the drugs together.
I have to get going because I either have to open a letter or slay Gannon. So
Well, if Gannon's in a letter, maybe you could do both.
might be in the letter that Zelda sends me to say, "Come help."
Lots of meat, less murder.
I got to read Zelda backwards.
That would be a great tasting sandwich.
Choo-choo.
The person in the shed is trying to escape.
We gotta go stop.
They can't get out. I just put a new block in front of it. Oh, sorry. We're
I
recording.
gotta make a phone call, a 3-digit phone call, real quick.
411 to get your phone, the time.
Hello? I'd like to report a possible murder.
A meatless murder.
Oh, there's lots of meat.